We're live. Who all's here already? We've got Unfinished Project. Lars is here. Dean Stevenson, Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, 6th Street Garage, Indecisive Garage, and the One-Eyed Cat, Don English himself. I really appreciate how Dean messes with Indecisive Garage. I mean, asking Tim, "Are you sure? Good evening." And Tim says, "Well, absolutely positive, but looks puzzled." You can't have a name like Indecisive Garage and not have Dean mess with it, Tim. Just saying. Who else is here? Turbo Tom, Mohawk 62, Buff Del Campo, Colleen Tebow is here. Never Done Projects, Levi's Backyard Performance, SSR Performance for Zell Racing, Rapid Transit Garage, Aunt D, Danny Boyd, my Aunt Nancy is here, 38 Racing, Grand Pito Vic, and I see Frizzell and SSR, and it reminds me we are going to have an update for you about Edelbrock Incentives tonight. So we've got an update for you tonight, and in fact, Professor P will be on at the bottom of the hour to give you that update. It's good stuff. They've been communicating with me this week. There are some bugs to work out because this is the first time that a group has ever had this. It's only been businesses before. It's the first time a group's ever had this. There's some challenges they hadn't figured out yet, but they will. These are really smart people over there. But we're going to bring you that update. I'm going to wait till Professor P gets on. 8 Lug Garage. Well, that's interesting. I hadn't seen that before. Never Done Projects helped me remember this tonight. Glad you could make it. Bad Tree Blake. Good to see you here. Frizzell says, "Can't wait. I have a shopping list." You can exercise that shopping list real soon. JB's Little Shop is here. And by the way, I sound like a frog. I've had the flu. I wasn't feeling good when I woke up on Tuesday. And it's just not been a good week. But I'm going to function for a while here tonight. I was going to say, when I see 8 Lug, I'm always thinking of the diesel crowd. There is one thing. I think my favorite thing about the 8 Lug in general is that 8 Lugs are all the same bolt circle. I have never liked that you have 5 on 5, 5 on 5.5, 5 on 4.5, 5 on 4. I've never liked that. With 8, there's only one. I think it isn't 8 on 6 or 8 on 5.5, but it's only one pattern. I've always liked that about those. And I'll tell you who would know the answer to that, man, is 8 Lug Garage. I bet he would know. Grand Pito Vic sneaked in here. Howdy. Dean says 1 U.S. gallon is 231 cubic inches. That sounds about right. Taking time out of my healing to do this live. I'll tell you what, I about passed out this morning trying to take a shower. Did not feel well at all. Oh, no. Unfinished project. Here's a guy who knows about 8 Lug stuff. There's more than one 8 Lug. Nah. Oh, the stock in 8 Lug just dropped in my eyes. There's 2. Oh, that's the worst. How modern is the new one? What is the new one, and when did it come out? I don't need aftermarket wheels. I have Steely's. To me, that's it. That's the wheel. Oh, and that 7 Lug stuff that's hot, rotten garbage. There's nothing good about that 7. Bird flu, I don't know. There was a time when people got the flu, and now all it is COVID. But I think I just had the flu. Get better. I don't have any other choice. My health insurance is through Get Better or Die Mutual. Early 2000s. Okay, then that one shouldn't exist. That one should not exist. When did the other 8 lug come out? What, the 50s? Yeah, see, that one shouldn't exist. Whoever did that did a disservice to the world, creating something that did not need to exist. And that's why, because it's metric, they should hang whoever did that. There's a whole lot of things that are constitutional but are still bad ideas, Dean. Eight Lugs building a K20 couldn't think of a name. Then it stuck. And then one day when you're building something else, you'll still be 8 Lug Garage. But that's okay. It's a good name. Evans Mopar Scott is here. I haven't been doing much talking today, so I haven't been coughing or hacking. Well, I'll see how well I hold up here. NSB Custom Cars is here. Yes, 7 Lug is 7 Lug is, you know what? If that's not on my list of things that shouldn't have been invented, I'll add it, because that should be, you know, I'm gonna set a reminder. I have a literal list of things that should not have been invented. At 10:30, remind me to add 7 lugs to my list of things that should not have been invented. Okay, it's on there. Bird flu is the flu in pink eye. I don't know. Why do some Hollies have power valves in both the primaries and the secondaries? I was thinking of blocking off the secondary power valve. I don't know. That'd be a wonderful Andy Wood question, because I could conjecture enough to be dangerous with that one, but I won't. However, Professor P will be here at the bottom of the hour. He's a good person to ask that. Or if Andy Wood gets in the comments, so hold that thought, Clayton. And also, Clayton, I know you're interested in the Edelbrock program. As we mentioned earlier, Professor P is going to be on at the bottom of the hour at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, and we're going to get an update on the Edelbrock program. They've run into a few glitches because this is the first time it's ever been done for a group before. So it has some new things, new challenges. It's never been done before. And I mean, we're going to get it figured out and all sorted out, because those are really smart people. As you can imagine, those are extremely smart people over there. But it just takes a little time to sort these things out. But we got an update coming real soon tonight. Professor P will be on. Yep, Big James, another good one to ask. Better drivability with power valves and more control on fuel curve. That was kind of generally what I was thinking. Just in general with carburetors, in general, if the more you can keep everything balanced across and 1-to-1 and even, the better it's going to work. But it can be more challenging to tune. So for just a general example, that's why I'm not a fan of progressive linkages, you know, like on 2.4s and that kind of stuff. I think everything should be 1-to-1, but it does make a little bit more of a challenge to tune. Jure Racing is here. How's it going, Ricky? Indirect Jason says the second power valve supplies extra fuel at part throttle. You'll have a low vacuum. Don't wrap my head around that one. There's Aaron. How's it going, sir? Old McDonald. Mopar Al. Glad you could make it. Rapid Transit J. Good to see you, sir. Dr. Go. I cannot read that name without hearing Gene Simmons singing it. They call him Dr. Go. You're welcome, because you all hear that now when you read his name too. Jerry says big things coming for the Duster this year. Plan is to run 6 summer drag and drive. Cool. Dizzy Izzy. Glad you're here. Big James says if you're strictly drag and use trans brake, you can ditch the power valves. If you street drive it, I would keep them. There's a lot of things like that. Yeah, I think that's the only reason I've ever heard of people getting rid of them. I learned the hard way what happens if you mess up that gasket when you put the metering block and bowl back on. I know that. Missed that gasket once on the dyno, had me chasing my tail. Yeah, I messed it up on a 66 Chevy truck one time, and I tore it. And it was a pain find. It was dumping fuel at idle. And I thought, man, I thought I had this carburetor really right. And I did, except for that one thing, which means I didn't really have it right. No excuses here, but I found it, fixed it. Oh, ran great after that. Jerry says, if anyone wants to buy the heads and cam off our Duster, we are looking to sell. Got us in the 1160 and the 408. Well, feel free to post it up here. I mean, you can. Or if you want to do a community post or something, I'll share it on the channel or whatever helps you out, Ricky. I'm fine with anything like that. Unfinished project puts up the link to Stinger Salvage. Stinger Salvage is is new to the No Name 500, and he's at 290 subscribers. So let's welcome him. Mean Street Mopar is in the No Name 500 yet again, 275 subs, and we wish him luck. Levi says, I have a hankering for more cowbell. Andrew Nelson says, good evening, gang. Andrew Nelson, we are going to be having an update soon from Professor P. He's going to be on the show tonight to give us an update about the Edelbrock Incentives. That program is about to come to fruition, and he's going to give us an update about that. So if you want to stick around a few minutes, he will be on. Did you find a radiator? No, that's been about the farthest thing from my mind, but I'm going to be in the town where I dropped it off on Tuesday. I probably ought to swing by there so they can not have any idea who in the world I am or where that radiator came from. I'm telling you. I don't have anything bad at all to say about them. I know that I worked with Bluefield radiator my entire life, and my dad did his entire life. life. And his dad went there before that. That place, I don't know how long it was open. I mean, I bet it was open at least in the 40s, if not before that, in the same place. And I took a lot of stuff there. And anyway, when he finally closed up shop and retired, I had to go elsewhere. And so far, I do not have another radiator shop that I can give a good Yelp review to. The last radiator I had done, a Bluefield radiator, was a Harrison radiator from my friend Chevelle. And the work was fine, but, you know, I don't have anything bad to say about old Leonard, but, you know, when you get in your 80s, you know, you're not doing quite as clean, you know, paint and solder and all, but it was okay. Everything was good. But it was going in literally a parade car. But you know what? He did a lot of work for me. A lot of radiators. Oh, and gas tanks. He would do gas tanks back in the day. Graham Pito says, Rusted Metal, is this your first time here? I know I have seen Rusted Metal here before. I believe he was here last week. Yep, and he confirms. I try to greet as many people as I can. Hot Rod Guy Garage Russell. All right, we'll bring in Professor P a little early. Got a knock at the door.
Hey! What's going on, guys? Happy Friday night.
How's it going, sir?
Pretty good, pretty good. So I just wanted to give everybody an update. I know that we were saying we're going to have the porthole, the B2B portal ready to go on the 1st. We're just having a little bit of issues with privacy on credit cards, because how we're setting this up is we're setting up everybody into a group. And basically everybody's going to be drop shipping their own parts from the B2B to you guys. We're just trying to keep everybody, you know, safe. So how we're going to do this for right now, I sent John a link. So unfortunately the portal is not going to be ready, but I can tell you guys your discounts. So I did get a little crash course in sales today because I don't do any of that. So we have what is called fixed pricing. So whatever you see on our website is what Summit sells it for. Now, if you're an ATech part of it, you get a little bit of a discount from ATech. But what you guys are going to get is whatever you see on our website. It's going to be between 10 to 15% off. So that is cheaper than you can even get it from ATech, even if you buy them like, say, 50 or 60 of a part. And that's going to be across the board. Now, John's been in contact with Chris, so they've been working on. I've been working on it on my end, and like I said, we're just trying to keep the privacy, and we want to make sure that this is the first time we're doing this. So you guys are all. This is basically the first time ever, and we just want everybody to have their safe credit cards and use it safely. The portal is up and running, but I just don't want to give people access to it until it's 100%. I'm gonna assume we're gonna try to shoot for next weekend, but you guys can. We have a link. I sent John. Do you have that? Do you want me to go to John Wilburn?
I have the contact info and the phone number for Alex So.
Yes.
But when you say a link, that's something. I didn't get a link.
Oh, no. What I meant is I sent you a picture, so I didn't know if you wanted me to go full John.
So that info is in the description of this video.
Perfect.
It has your Edelbrock Incentives contact, Alex So, and has his phone number.
Awesome. And I'm going to give you his email. It's really easy. It's his first initial and his last name. So it's ASO@edelbrock.com. So he is going to be our own. He's basically just our sales guy just for this group, for the No Name Nationals. And so he has the list that John has provided to Chris Mays and Alex. So if you're on that list, he'll be in contact with you, and you guys are his number one priority until it's up to where you guys can just order and look at an inventory. So he will be live on that. Now he does Central Time. I think he's from 8 to 5 Central Time. So Monday through Friday. So we can help you out with that. But if you guys want to know what pricing is, you can look on our website, take 10 to 15% off of whatever you see on our website, and that's about what it's going to be.
So I'm going to update for people watching this later. I'm going to update in the description aso@edelbrock.com. That's the email. Also, if you register for the No Name Nationals and then call him 5 minutes later, there's a real good chance he's not going to have your info yet. I port these over very quickly in real time, but I have to update the spreadsheet, right? And so when you register for the No Name Nationals, I get an email that says that you've paid. The very first thing I do is it really helps me when you put your channel link in your registration. And I know some people say, oh, he knows my channel. I do know your channel, but then I have to go look your channel up because I always take certain notes of things on your channel, like how many subs you have, make sure it's still active if you're a No Name 500 guy. Lots of these things. Even if you're not, I still note how many subs you have because I actually track channel growth from year to year because it's interesting. But I take that link and I put that on the spreadsheet I give these guys. And I have to get your email and some stuff I need from that, especially if you're new, right? And some of you guys I've known forever. It's just we don't typically email one another. We typically text. So I have to assimilate all this stuff and get it to the sheet and get it to him. And if I'm out of town the morning you register, I might not get it on the sheet until the end of the day, right? Try to do it within 24 hours. So, for example, one of our friends we all know here, he registered right before this live, and that's great. But he will probably not get his information over to Alex until tomorrow. So Alex will have that tomorrow. But I don't know how quick it updates on their end. So what I would say is if you're registering with the intent of the Edelbrock Incentives, or that's your motivation, that's great, but it just might not be immediately quick real time. We're making it as quickly and seamlessly as we can. The easy way around that is after this first year, it's going to roll with a grace period, and then it won't be like that. And as long as you re-register on time within the grace period, there won't be any delay. But I'm sharing this with you because there's going to be a few days of lag for each person in the beginning.
I can tell you that if you register on, say, on Friday and it's after business hours, it's probably not going to be until Monday because we want to we have it locked out. So even John, no one has access except for Chris Mays. He's the only one that can take and add and move in and out. So that way there's only one person control. So that would be on the next following business day. It'll be updated. And then if you buy parts within that time, he said that he'll post date it too. So like if you whatever, and like say Friday and you buy stuff on Saturday, he'll post date it from there too. But I would just, that little bit more work that needs to happen. So just wait.
Andy's such a good Southern gentleman. He's always appreciative of things. And I think that's no small part of his success is he's very humble and appreciative. I've always liked that about Andy. Yeah.
And this is something that that not only am I, John's happy to do this. Chris Mays is head of the marketing department, and there's a lot of sales guys there that are basically this is just a perk that we're doing for you guys. We're kind of doing this on our own time to get this up and running. Because if this works, then this is something that we can send as a perk everywhere else, and you guys will be the first ones ever to have this. So this is kind of like a thing, and this is going to be moving forward as long as the No Name Nationals is around. This is going to be there. And here's the next thing is that right now we're going to be on you guys are going to be on Engine Builder. The more parts you guys buy, the better, because it's a collective. It's a one business thing. You guys get farther and farther into the discount. So right now, basically, you guys are starting at Engine Builder, which I believe is about a $50,000 buy-in normally. So like if you have a business, you got to buy $50,000 worth of parts, and then they start tearing you down. And then you get each time you buy more parts, and as a collective, you go to the next level and then to the next level. So there's only 2 more levels beyond this, as far as going down. And the next level is basically wholesale, and then the next one is when you buy stuff in bulk, which I don't think we'll ever get to that point, our No Name Nationals. But I think the next level is pretty attainable with all these people in it.
So how long will it take 100 people to spend $500 a piece?
It's pretty simple.
See, that's what I'm saying. If people really take advantage of this,
Yes,
this can snowball into something really good really quick.
exactly. And then this will roll over until next year. That's why we're going to just have it, February 1st, as far as being active each year, because that means that when it rolls over, it'll still have all the from last year, and then it'll roll over and give you the pricing scale for the next year. So it could be on the best price scale after this, even halfway through this year. If people start buying pretty good, like say by summer, they'll go down to the next level, and then I'll just stay there. And then that just helps everyone out.
Well, I'll tell you, we always strive to release the dates and open registration for the No Name Nationals by the last Friday of every year. That's always tradition when we try to do it. This year we were able to a little early because some of these other events and things and the track, and we had everything worked out earlier this year than normal. So we went ahead and opened it earlier than normal, which was good, which was fine. Caught a few people off guard, but that's fine. People still rushed in, registered, which is great. But what we're thinking is that if let's just say the last Friday of the year happens to be the very last day of the year, and February 1 is, of course, February 1, you will never have less than a month of leeway to maintain continuity in your Edelbrock incentives.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to make sure that on the night of, January 31st, to have that list updated with absolutely everyone who's registered sent over there. And we're going to make sure to see who stays and who keeps. And
yep.
So anyway.
And this way too, and the reason why we're doing this rollover at this exact time is so that way the perks are happening when people want it the most, when they're at home in December. And then also too in that January where a lot of people are snowed in, and that way it carries over to the next year. So it's not just, hey, when you get it, it's only from this point until the show, but this is why we're doing it for a full year. So you can take advantage of it the following year too.
It's cool now, but it's going to be even cooler when we get the bugs worked out.
Yes.
Because this is eventually just going to be running in the background. It's going to be like one of those conveniences we take for granted type of things. We appreciate it, but, it's just nice.
It's going to, imagine it like this, because I've actually was playing with it a little bit today. Imagine it kind of as your own personal summit where it shows live inventory. If something is being cast or if it's in the machining process, the exact date on when it will be ready to be shipped. Because we do a lot of the S5 stuff. So we know exactly how things are coming down the pipeline. So you will have that first run data. So you'll know right off the bat. It's not going to be just some mystery. Like when you go to Summit, it says July or whatever. We can actually give you an actual date on when it's going to be ready.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. That's
a big deal. Because I'll tell you, there's been a lot of parts purgatory for the last couple of years.
Yeah. And, we've actually, last year was the first year that we actually got ahead of the game, and we actually have excess on the shelf, which is good because we always like to keep stock. Well, I shouldn't say excess. It's not waste, but there's just we have at least a 2 to 3 month supply already ready to go and a 2-3 month supply that's being machined right now. So there's never going to be a lull at that time. And you always want to get ahead of the game by, January, February, and March. Because a lot of people buy during that time,
Lone Ridge Garage says his tech helper's coming over to get my formatting done. What I'll tell you is we're going to be having some content creator workshops. We try to do about 3 of those a year. And I'm going to be scheduling one real soon. I wanted to wait till we had some more folks registered for the No Name 500. The No Name 500 itself is a little smaller, but registration is still the same. if not a little better right now, because channels that were in the No Name 500 graduate the No Name 500 and they re-register as established channels. So never let the size of the No Name 500 fool you on the actual registration for the event.
Yeah.
But that said, we've got 4 channels in the No Name 500 right now.
Wow.
And Lone Wrench Garage, he's got the longest way to go. But I'm telling you, those content creator workshops will be a very big deal to you.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that John said that was probably the best thing, if I could give someone like Lone Wrench Garage, is if you put up a short every day for 30 days. That's the best thing you can do. And then at least once a week, put up an actual video. If you do that, you'll always be in the algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll make it. You'll make it if you do that.
Yeah.
The people who make it out of the No Name 500 are the people who don't quit.
Exactly.
It's pretty much that easy. And the graduation rate is around 73%.
Yeah. Didn't one person get this 500 literally in the parking lot before it opened?
Oh, we've had so Mopar's Mustangs and Minivans Damien got his 500 on the side of the road with a cardboard sign as I was directing traffic in the first year. Dizzy Izzy was panhandling at the event, and Barkley helped him get his 500 at the event. Turbo Tom got his 500 in the pits as we were lining up for the group photo. I think that was the second year. So, yeah, we've had some people cut it close, but I'll tell you, obviously, if you can just go ahead and knock it out early, and I got to tell you, that to me will be the peace of mind way to do it for me. Hammer down in the winter, get it done. And you know what you'll find? If you go ahead and get your 500 subs and get them out of the way, what'll happen is by the No Name Nationals, you'll have 1,000 and felt like you weren't even trying because you'll be so comfortable making content. You'll have all these things you want to make content on. It'll be easy. You have 1,000 by No Name Nationals because you didn't try to posture and slow roll it and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
We'll also be having a 30 shorts in 30 days challenge this year again. We did last year. We did it in June up through the 4th of July. The 4th of July was day number 30. We did 30 shorts in 30 days. I did it with them last year. I assume I'll do it with them again this year. And I sent out a No Name Nationals banner to everybody who did it and actually did a short every day for 30 days. I did not send one to the people who did a short every day for 28 out of 30 days. I did not send one out to people who did a short for 29 out of 30 days. It's a short. You could film 30 shorts in one day and schedule them to drop once a day.
Exactly.
That's all it takes, right? Yeah. So we're going to be doing something like that again, and you'll win some kind of cool No Name Nationals prize for participating in that. 30 shorts in 30 days. But it's coming again this summer. That said, no reason you can't go ahead and get on that now.
Exactly. It does make a difference. Just look at Buff Del Campo. I mean, that guy's putting up videos, doing lives. I mean, his subscribers are getting higher and higher, doing a good job.
But once Buff did that shorts challenge, nothing stops him, and he's got a lot of subs now, and he's earned them. His shorts are actually good; they're useful stuff. So, Dean Stevenson's talking about the old neutral drop there. I'm going to tell you, besides just being hard on a transmission, I think Cope accidentally did a neutral drop and about lost part of his foot. I mean, it's you can get seriously hurt. That guy who did a neutral drop on that channel's parking lot, his foot was hurting, gas pedal floor moved over. Neutral drops are nothing to screw around on. You can get seriously hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know why you couldn't get killed. If you had a piece of that drum were to get baffled back against the dash support, it could go right into your head and kill you.
Yep.
So I just think neutral drops are nothing to screw around with, period.
I've seen that go right through the roof of the car. The drum comes right through the floorboard and right through the roof of the car and right through the windshield. It's an explosion. Oh, did you see that the Cookie Monster t-shirt is ready? Did you see that?
I
Did you?
didn't see that. I want to see a link. Twisted No Parts, not exactly what a trans brake does. The trans brake is going to have low band ply on. The neutral drop will not.
I don't want to go full John Wilburn for it, but if you go to Tony's Hot Rod Garage, he made a nice little cool short about it. It's actually really good.
I want to see that. Yeah, no, you feel free to put it up. In fact, is there a link to it? You got a link to that. We'll play it.
Yeah, I'll send it over to you.
Or actually, we'll post it in the chat.
I'm not. Am I a mod for this? I think I am.
I think you are. Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'll post it.
Andy's asking about it. Yeah, I dig the Cookie Monster. DNR wants to notice the Edelbrock discount apply to aluminum heads also.
Everything that we sell, that's Edelbrock, that's Comp Cams, that's TCI, everything that's under the Edelbrock Group umbrella. If you go to edelbrock.com, yeah, and then you hit it, you'll see all the different sites of Fast. It even works for Fast and everything.
One-Eyed Cat says his transmission tunnel is 3 layers thick like shingles on a roof. That drum will go through that. It went through Cope's floor. It went through a panel up and under the dash. It went through the case of the transmission. It did stop at the cow. I've seen a picture of one in an E-body where it literally went through the case, through the floor, and out through the passenger door, the inner and the skin to the outside.
I just sent you a link. I sent you a link to your phone, or do you want me to send it to?
What I'm hoping. Let me do this. Think how to do this for a second. I can do this.
I got to tell you that if you're on the fence about getting a t-shirt for your car or whatever, it's really worth it. Go to Tony's Hot Rod Garage. He's Gunslinger Graphics. I'm going to try to put a link in the video here, but he does a really good job, and he gives you your own little site.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and the shirts are amazing. Like,
the
it is
quality
amazing,
and the artwork are all really good.
Yeah.
I have sent the link over to Unfinished Project.
Okay.
Yeah, he's already got it. He's already ahead of me.
Perfect.
He's got to post the right. He's fast.
Good.
There we go. So check that out.
It's pretty good.
Check that out.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that's that. You know, and yeah. I'm just, if you ever think about doing that, you know, it's really worth it.
So Charger 383 Mopar Williams says, where do we go to see the discounts? I missed that part.
Okay, so right now we're still working on getting the website up as far as the portal for you guys, the B2B. So right now it's 10 to 15% on anything that you see on our webpage. Now we have a price cap on everything. So Summit sells it exactly for what we sell it for. There's no discount. The only discount beyond what we have is A-Tech, and that's for people who are in a different tier, but that's only going to be a couple bucks. You're going to be saving 10 to 15%. John has actually a link in the comments down below, or is it in the description?
Well, I have the you know what I'll do? I can do this right now.
Yeah. So
what I'll do is I'm gonna put up the link right now. I put up the contact info for Alex.
Yeah. So what we have right now is until that we're trying to keep everybody's credit card safe. I know everyone's heard this, but I'll say it for you, is that we're trying to keep everyone's credit card safe. And since it's going to be one essentially business, it's going to be the No Name Nationals, and you guys are going to basically drop ship the parts to yourselves. We're trying to figure out how to keep the credit cards only for those people, since it is technically a business and it's a server. So for right now, until we figure that out, we have our own salesman for this group, and it is he has a link for it, and then we also have an email. He's Monday through Friday, and he will basically get on it and let you know where it is and where it's in stock and how long it's going to be, or so on and so forth. And then he's basically one guy dedicated just to the group. So That's pretty amazing considering that no one else has that. Summit doesn't even have that.
Okay. I've added Alex's Edelbrock email to his contact info.
Yeah.
And is there a link where people can shop? Just edelbrock.com?
Yeah, edelbrock.com.
Okay.
So if you go to edelbrock.com and pull it up, and then you'll see at the top everything that's like there. You'll see like the TCI, the comp cams, fast, as far as all of the groups, and then whatever you see on our site, our webpage, that's what you can buy, and whatever the price is, just take 10 to 15%. It's going to be right in there. And once again, I apologize for not having it done like we said on the first, but it's a logistics things, and we're just trying to keep everyone's credit card safe. So that way, because here's the thing, we all trust everybody in the group. Here's the thing is that how many times have you had a list of credit cards somewhere and you hit the wrong one? And that could happen. And we're just trying to avoid any type of any problems. And the biggest thing is to get this discount. Normally, this is where we're starting is Engine Builder. This is normally a $50,000 buy-in. And like I was saying earlier, is that as we buy more parts collectively, we're going to go down to the next level, which is WD, which is Warehouse Direct. And I don't know the discount on that one, but that's literally the only one below that is when you buy them in multiples, like if you buy 50 of something or 40 of something or whatnot, like how Summit does some things. But your guys are going to be basically at a really high shop tier level going right into it. And the more parts that we buy collectively, it's going to make a discount for everyone moving here forward and from then on.
Does Edelbrock build a nitrous kit for 671 blowers?
We can definitely make a nitrous kit because we have Zex. So Zex is a nitrous system that we carry. And then Edelbrock has its own nitrous kits too that we still sell. So there's actually 2 nitrous systems there.
So Unfinished Project is going to post Alex's info in the chat. I have updated his contact info and the website down below the video. It's already done. But for now, go to edelbrock.com. You'll see the prices there. You'll get an additional 10 to 15% off what you see there. Remember, as we cumulatively buy as a group, we can work toward an even better price point.
Yes,
which is pretty exciting. If there's 100 of us spend $500 a piece, that already puts us, I think, toward another break, doesn't it?
Yes, and think about this. The next tier down is literally what people like Jegs, Summit Racing, that's how they build their business. The only level below that is when they buy them in multiples. But a lot of people, what you're going to be buying these things from, in the next level down is what a lot of people are buying them and reselling them to have their business at. So you guys are going to save a ton. This could be really big if you're looking at building them. We're just trying to keep money in everybody's pocket because the last 4 years have been rough. Even for me, it's been rough everywhere. So any little bit helps.
I got to tell you, I mean, I quit keeping up with it at 27% inflation.
Right?
That's rough on people. And you guys make, lots of sacrifices to make it to the No Name Nationals.
Yeah.
And this is a big deal. So you guys are building a car. It's going to make a big difference.
Yeah. And John Cope says right there, WD pricing is awesome. Absolutely. Yeah. So basically, because I'm setting this up for you guys and it's a trial and we're doing this guinea pig, that's why they waived the buy-in on this. So then the next level down is WD, and that's where the big, 15, 20% right now, 10 to 15 right now is amazing. But the next level is even better.
That's real. I mean, if you think about it, think about what a carb cost, $100 off could be. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Exactly. So you figure cylinder heads, that's $300. You get set at cylinder. That's a lot.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So you're buying your cylinder heads that you were going to buy anyways, and then now the $300, that's your fuel money to the No Name Nationals and back. So there it is. So you basically, what you were already going to buy has now just saved you going to the show. So
And not to cast anything on anyone else who retails parts out there, but I can tell you, we've all dealt with companies that when you call them, you get somebody who you think worked at Advance Auto last week, and now they're working for, you know, a big
yes,
box, performance retailer. And to me, that's just, you just want to hang up and start over.
yeah. And Alex is a
I,
great.
I would venture to say you're not going to get that at Edelbrock. In fact, I told these guys, I say they're working on it, but that place is full of really smart people.
Yeah,
I've only talked with a few people who are there, and they're all really smart. That's like,
yeah.
it must be a cultural thing there. They only hire smart people. I mean, really, because they do. Your place seems to really appreciate having talent work there.
Well, that's we're all passionate about it. This is what we do. We've always been into cars, so we're very passionate. Alex is a great guy. Not only he's not necessarily just a sales guy, he actually works in tech. So he's one of the guys that when people call up and have problems, he's one of the guys that helps fix that. So he's a dude. He's a guy. He's like us. He's a car guy.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Brazil says they have some great customer service. Right on.
Yeah. It's finally starting to come back around, because when we moved everything from California out to Olive Branch, Mississippi, there was a lot of teething pains, because we're, new state, new distributing, some new people, some older people that have been with the company. So, I think we're now in our third year here, third and a half, I would say, as far as actually in the area. And we're starting to hit the throttle now on this.
I like this unfinished project says they hire on merit. Yeah, they're not government. They want their business to work.
Exactly.
They want the planes to not collide with each other and the Fords to not catch on fire. And they run things like a business that needs to survive does.
Exactly. Yeah. While we're waiting for anything to come up, this is kind of what I got going on this weekend. I changed my suspension on my car to a triangulated 4-link. Now, it has no adjustments on the upper bar. So I made a tool, and what I'm doing is I'm adding extra holes on the top. So right now, this is the factory hole, and each one of these is 4 degrees. And I did that so that way the hole that's already welded onto the axle is there. I bolt that through that. That will align these 3 holes off the holes that's existing. So when I'm at the track and I need to make a bar change, I literally just unbolt it, drop it down, and I don't have to reset pinion angle. So that's what I'm working on right now.
I like that.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. And so I'm going to, if it works out, I'm going to tell QA1 how I did it, and they're going to start offering it to people. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Does Edelbrock need some floor sweepers?
Man, with a car like that in the background, you probably could fit right in with all the guys.
So we have access to this through email until the site goes live.
Yes, and that's only for credit card safety for right now until we figure out how we're going to do that. We're not sure if we're going to do it with. We're not really sure exactly. We might even just keep it to where you guys have access to it. You can see it, and then you place the order, send your order, and then the cards will be on file with Alex, and then he'll just, when he comes in, he can just put them in and then have it drop shipped the same day. So, because our shipping ships out at 6 anyway. So let's just say you put it on Sunday, I would say Tuesday afternoon, it's going to ship out Wednesday. So in the afternoon. So it'll still be, once again, we're still not exactly sure, but that could be one way that it could work.
It's coming together. It's just, this is a brand new, this whole system is new to do this for a group like this. So there's some growing pains, but it's going to be worth it. So just to recap, since Big James is asking, this is for the benefit of everybody. Mean Street Mopar, we're going to recap for everybody. Right now, you can look at everything at edelbrock.com, and it's going to have that pricing. Your price is going to be somewhere between 10 and 15% off of that. There is contact info in the description of this video for your contact at Edelbrock. His name is Alex So. His phone number and email are right there.
Yeah. So
go to edelbrock.com, shop there, and you'll get a discount off of those prices when you call or email Alex So at the contact info there.
Yeah, and his hours are 8 to 5, I believe, or somewhere right there for Central Time, Monday through Friday. So, so if it's after hours, just send an email. Is what I'm getting at.
Yep. I'm going to add that too.
Yeah, and if he just came into, like I was saying before, he's a car guy, so he gets it, and he's in the tech line, and he also, everybody does a little bit of sales, but he's more of a tech guy, so he knows his stuff. He's good.
I'm going to drop it in the chat as well. I'm going to put that in there for everybody. But I would imagine that this is probably going to get a little more streamlined as time goes on, probably. But that said, this is great. And I think one of the most exciting things is not only the discount we're getting, but also the fact that as a group, we're all paying into one pot that can unlock even more discount over time. And to me, that's really exciting.
Yeah, and once again, this is not corporate America coming in. I really want to emphasize that this is just a perk. This is the same thing we would do for any type of business who buys a lot of parts, but they're doing it for the first time, trying to open it to a group of people. And it's kind of like a brainchild that I kind of had. Instead of just having like businesses, like what if you have like, say, a group of people who buy, this type of thing, or groups, that way they can go directly to the manufacturer. And then that way some other person is not capturing the sale. You're actually getting it directly from us. So if this works, I can see a lot more companies and a lot more of these things going on. And John, the only thing about the email is it's ASO. It's his first initial, ASO at edelbrock.com.
Mm-hmm. ASO at edelbrock.com. Alex So. So if you're, and one thing we'll mention, just because there's a lot of people in here, and in case somebody missed the memo, to be eligible for this, you must be a registered No Name Nationals participant.
Yes.
I mean, you must have that.
And what do we have? 30 right now? Is it 30?
Oh, we have well more than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think when I gave you the sheet a while back, but they continue to trickle in throughout the year. We've always got about 20 some people trying to be first, and then they trickle in throughout the year. That's typically how it works.
Right.
However, that said, you're going to have about 30 days of grace period year to year with this. So hopefully more people will want to go ahead and get the registration done, by the end of January each year.
Yes.
Which helps us too.
Yeah. And then that will help too people. So that way they're getting the discounts during the off season and before race season, prime building hour,
helps
when it's cold out.
Helps everybody.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's money you're not paying for the perk. You're paying to register anyway. This is just a free perk, free to you, that comes with it.
Yeah.
I can't thank Professor P enough for making this happen.
Yeah. Well, I've always thought about having, I worked when I was at the other company, Crowder. I was always thinking of this exact same thing. Like, instead of like businesses, like what if we had like just a group of people who buy, they're like in a car club What if a car club goes in as a business, and then the people in the car club can buy at a discounted rate? The more parts they buy, the lower they get. So that way they basically have created their own technical business and discount. And so no one's really done that before. So that's what I'm trying to do with this. I've always wanted to do that.
Well, we're the first.
Yeah, right. And being first are some guinea pig and growing pains, and this is one of them. So, yeah.
FYI, 38 Racing says that is a 59 348 Tri-Power El Camino.
That's
Isn't
awesome.
that cool?
That is very cool.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that is cool.
Yeah.
That's like one of those. That's like a Oak Island threefer right there.
Exactly.
That's a fourfer. That's a fourfer
right there.
It's a 59 Chevy El Camino with a 348 and a Tri-Power.
Could it be? Oh, it just gets me. Right.
That's exactly what that is. I was thinking what made that so cool. That's exactly what it is.
Oh yeah.
Rabbit Transit Garage says I'm shopping for a 360 Magnum cam as we speak.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, they've
Rabbit
got a few in there.
Jay, are you
Hydraulic
registered? Yes, you are. Rabbit Transit's registered.
Good.
He likes to, take his time registering because he knows he's grandfathered into that number one. So,
okay.
He has to be cool about it.
Yeah.
So there you go, Rabbit Transit. You're shopping for a 360 Magnum cam. You got a good opportunity here.
Yeah, and if you want help with the cam too, Wednesday nights, just come over to the Tech Talk, and we'll design your camshaft on Tech Talk Live if you don't mind sharing your weight and all that kind of stuff. And I'll explain on Wednesday night how I do that, so that way everybody can kind of go through the same type of deal. It's pretty simple.
Yes.
He's got it. He understands it now. There you go.
You've seen that show, haven't you? Although I think we've seen at least one fourfer on Oak Island. I don't think we ever had a fivefer.
No, I don't remember. Actually, John, I might have it written down because
I think there was one fourfer because you sent it to me.
Yes. Oh, it was good. It just kept going and going. I was like, oh, there it is.
And I could hear Lisa cracking up in the background while you were filming it.
That's exactly right.
Because it was really funny.
I can't take credit for it. It was actually her. She was the one, because she's been, when this whole thing with Oak Island came up, I was just like enamored. I was like, oh my God, I remember watching the National Geographic and then reading the yellow National Geographic on this Oak Island. What was it, 12 years ago? They still haven't found anything. And every year she's subjected to this. And then she just goes, oh my God, that was a 4-4. That was a 3-4. She's actually the one who came up with it. So
yes. I can't unhear it now.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I recognized that in that comment, though.
And one thing I can tell you is that if there's one little piece I can tell you is don't wait till the last minute on this. Everybody says the same thing, but here's what happened is that on No Name Nationals, the second year, I broke a brake master cylinder literally the Monday or the Tuesday before we were going. I was going to drive it up and down the street, give the brakes one last little thing, broke it, and I just couldn't get one in time. Last year, I basically got my car running, and by March, I was already starting to do laps, and it took me, between rainstorms and this and that, it still took me four months to get the car to where I felt comfortable with it going down the track, and beating its guts in. So don't wait till the last minute. Build it now, and then get on the track by, I would say no later than June, July, and that June, July at the latest. And that way you can at least get at least 3 or 4 test and tunes all day testing tunes, and get the car running.
I will tell you, there is a very strong correlation between the people. Okay, tell me what all these people have in common. Professor P, Just Mopar Joe, Dallas, the Bad Tree guys. What do all of those guys have in common? They all get their stuff done way early, and they start in the middle of winter. They're getting stuff done, and by the time the event comes around, they're leaving plenty ahead of time. And yeah, they have plenty of work to do, but they don't look thrashed or hurrying, and they're not last minute tuning because they have their stuff done. They got it done, way in advance. They realize, the nature of how time slips away. And that's why they always show up. They always perform. Their stuff runs when they get there. And there's a lot of people who just, they don't. They show up and it's like, man, we showed up and this broke and that broke and this didn't happen, that didn't happen. And that's okay. I mean, we want you to still have a good time. If something breaks your grenades, cool, man, hang out with us, have a good time. But I will say, getting those things done so that your stuff is all sorted out before you get there, you'll have the best time possible and put on a great show.
Yeah. I want to say something real quick about my boy, though. Big Block 402 gave us a monkey bike, right? To cash.
There's another one who works hard and gets his stuff done, too. It's Steven.
Yeah.
There's lots of them. I just picked those.
So we got it running, but it didn't run all that well. So we went down to Harbor Freight, got a 79cc stock engine, and got it running. And
you can't even say stock when it is stock.
Oh, no. This one is stock. And there's a point to the story. Okay, so the engine that we took out is the exact same engine, but we have a brand new one that's stock. So he's been riding it around, and he's already saying, "Dad, will it go faster?" And I said, "Oh, yes. You know how? The engine that we took out of there, we're going to modify that one, and you're going to learn about 4-strokes, porting, camshaft, and we're going to regrind the camshaft. We're going to rebuild the whole engine, and then that way he gets a lesson in what stock is and what modified is of the same engine." So he wants to bring it to the No Name Nationals. I was like, well, maybe you can't go down the track, but maybe on a Thursday night or Friday night, we might put up some cones and you can call some people out. How about that?
Dust Devil asks, "I'm here. Did I miss the good stuff?" Yes. That said, Brian, down in the description of this video, you're going to see the contact information for Edelbrock Incentives, Alex. So his phone number and his email are right there. If you go to edelbrock.com, anything on the site, we're going to get about 10 to 15% off of that. But right now, you need to place your orders directly through Alex. By phone or by email, and it's because we're trying to work out credit card privacy. So anyway, this system is new. This group is the guinea pig. This doesn't exist for any other group in the world right now. We are the first. So join with us in these growing pains. We're working on it, but this is going to be great.
Yeah, it really is. Once you guys get access to this, like I said before, imagine it like having your own personal summit racing just for you guys. It's awesome, but factory direct.
Yeah, this is great.
The only thing you would have to call in for, I think I've said this before, was custom cams. Other than that, you can basically do everything from the business to business portal. That's going to be up running.
You know what I thought was really cool? Professor P said that they can design your cam on a Wednesday Tech Talk.
Yes.
Now, one thing I'm going to say, I'm not asking Professor P to, I'm going to say it, and that is, you guys don't waste his time if you're not placing a cam order like in the next day or two.
Yeah.
Because don't abuse his resources or he won't do that. Now, that said, if you're going to place a cam order like that week, it's like, all right, man, it's time for me to order the bump stick. I've got the heads, got them flowed. I got the car, I got it weighed, I got my converter. I know what I'm doing here now. Now I need to get my cam. Okay. Then you get, do something like that, Professor P, on a Wednesday. I think it'll be really cool and everybody would enjoy it and get to learn from it.
Yeah, and then what I'll do too is not only will I get the numbers, but then I'll start pulling out masters because they have different ramp rates. You know, you want things to open faster on
Oh,
on,
that's
on
cool.
different ones and close slower here and there, and then that way you can. And then I'll give those numbers to Alex, and then we can start running profiles on that. And then the following week we could say, well, we decided to pick these masters for this one and the exhaust for this one, and then we'll explain why. So it could be really cool for everyone. But if you don't want it to be known, just say it, and I won't say nothing. I can keep a secret.
Hey, Bobby, if you don't see it in the description, just refresh your browser. I had to update that right after the live started. You refresh your browser, I promise you it's there. "38 Racings, I hope to remember my tech question till Wednesday." No, actually, I remember you had asked a question, I think. Yeah, you got Professor P on here now. If you have a tech question, it'd be a good time for it, actually.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Dean Stevenson accidentally gave it to the guy I sent the 265 Hemi to. There's such a mythical engine here, only because we don't have them. Oh, Clayton's Toolbox has got his question too, asking about the power valves in the primary and the secondary. He was thinking about blocking off the secondary power valve and jetting up. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, what it really comes down to is what the application's for. So a lot of these carburetors have what is called like a progressive linkage. So when you're driving around on the primaries, you'll get to about half throttle. That's the power valve. What it does is when there's high vacuum, it shuts off some of the jet. So that way you can run smaller main jets, and then when the power valve's closed, it actually leans out the mixture so you get better mileage. When you step on the throttle, or say you're going up a hill and you give a little more throttle, but the secondaries aren't opening, it will pop the power valve out, and then you'll get the full jet. If you look at some of the actual jettings on how they're set, like you'll see, like say 80s up front with the power valve, and then 88s. Typically, they're about 6 to 10 jet sizes when you don't have a power valve in the back. But that's all it really is. Now, for me on the Cookie Monster, I run power valves front and rear always. They're incredible tuning tools because you could use the power valve as a tuning tool. Some people just say, I'll just take them out, I'm going to run the jets. But when you're idling around the pits, or when you're having to start it up and down to get up to the staging lines, and when you finally get it fired up and you're backing up, if you don't have a power valve, you could just be loading up your car the whole time, your plugs. So when you do your burnout, it's going to fart and pop and all this other stuff. So, but that's basically it. I would always run a power valve if you can. It's even in the VRSs, we have power valves front and rear, and it's still on a progressive linkage. So they work really well.
Heavens Mopar says, seriously? I just bought a cam last month for the 340 tunnel ram going into the 62 Valiant 4-speed. How long have we been telling everybody this?
Yeah.
They said we have this coming to fruition by February 1st. But that said, I'm sure that you have plenty more to spend on said Valiant. So anyway, this benefit is available to you.
Yeah.
It's really cool. We basically have our own concierge.
Yeah, exactly. And then you also have me helping you guys out too.
Yeah.
So I'll come in on some Fridays, but the tech, we want to do the heavy stuff on Wednesdays. You can come over there and then find out, and you could literally be on our website when this portal's open. You could literally be on our website. We could be talking cam profiles or intakes or whatnot, and then you can go and see if it's available, and then place the order at that time right then.
You got Aaron reconsidering now.
Yeah, I would definitely change it back. Absolutely.
It's all good, Scott. You're gonna have plenty to spend on that Valiant before all is said and done.
Yeah. And remember, TCI they do a lot of torque converters. They do custom converters and all that. Now, custom converters, obviously you have to call in, and then we'd have to place the order a different way. But as far as over the counter stuff, if you need converters, they have that kind of stuff there too. And even over the counter ones are really good converters. I was running an over the counter one on this one for a little while.
Dakota's timeout is here.
Oh,
Dakota, I think you have heard about our Edelbrock Incentives. It is coming to fruition now. We've got our own concierge at Edelbrock, Alex So. We've got his phone number and email. They're in the description of this video. If you've had because I'll tell you something I've discovered, a lot of these folks will have the tab for this live open early in the day on Friday, and they'll just leave the tab open, right?
mm-hmm.
And then that way, when I go live, they'll hear it come on and join.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I didn't complete the description with all that stuff in it until later. So if you look down there, like Bobby Frizzell, he looked down there and didn't see it. I said, well, if you refresh your browser, it's there.
There it is.
I promise.
Yeah.
Sometimes these guys beat me to it. Like I've gone to post links and Lars and unfinished project will already be in there. So,
who was the gentleman asking about the power valve? Was
that was Clayton? Clayton's Toolbox.
Okay, so I have some metering blocks on Wednesday. I don't want to hijack this, but if you on Wednesday, I'll put them up here. If you show up on next Wednesday, I'll actually show you how it works, how the channels work, and how the power valve opens and closes from what side and everything. And I'll even show you the main wells, so that way I'll put it right up to the camera so you can, and I'll describe what's going on, and you'll understand. It's really simple.
Ed's machine is here. Hey, Ed, how's your duster coming? Last I saw, there was some paint work getting done, body work getting done on it. Heavens Mopar is going to chop the top on a 62 Valiant.
That's awesome.
Excited the most to chop the top.
That is awesome. That's actually, I think, my wife's favorite car is the 62 Valiant. Those the older ones. She loves those.
Aunt D says, were the 8.75-inch DLC lifters released?
You know, I'm pretty sure they were, but
Weren't
I
they
don't.
The first released?
The 842s were the first ones.
Oh, okay. I thought the 875s were first.
And then the Fords, and then the 904s. But you know, I will check into that, and I will have that at a later date. But it's hard to keep up on all this stuff because right now I'm kind of under the gun with a lot of the engineering stuff, so it's hard to keep track of what's coming in right now. So I apologize for that.
You know, one-eyed cats, it'll be tough to wear a helmet if it's chopped. I'm just going to tell you right now, if you're really hardcore about chopping the top, that's fine. But man, I have never found any use for a chopped car. I mean, it's just the glass, making all that stuff fit.
Ridiculous.
I mean,
if it's a 32 Ford, you can chop it and drop it all down, and then the glass literally is just cutting out. But when you have like compound angle curves on a windshield, and now you're taking it down, it's going to be very difficult.
I don't know what this is from Rick here. I don't know what that is. I think I know. I think I know what that is.
Is that a Hot
See how
Wheels?
long he sticks around and behaves. I think I know what that is. I'm guessing that's Rich 220's alternate channel or something. I think. One of y'all check that out.
Yeah. Mohawk 62. There's one more thing I wanted to say on that too. He was talking about the power valves. Is that not only do you have the main jets, but then you also have the jets for the power valves. So now for each front and rear, you can adjust power valve jets and main jets. So you basically have 4 jets per side then, and it works really well. Infinitely tunable. It's awesome.
Yeah, unfinished project confirms. That's what I thought. Pickerwood Customs asks, the tech chat is here. No, and we have had tech guests on this channel before, like Professor P and others, but generally no. The general tech every Wednesday night is on the American Hot Rod Association channel with Dallas and Professor P. And that's what their topic is every Wednesday, is tech. That's the best place on YouTube to go and ask your automotive tech questions.
Yeah.
Now, that said, I will occasionally have guests on about different kinds of tech all the time, like Professor P, like John Cope. You know, Lake Speed Jr., we've had him on to talk about motor oil. We've had professionals in all various fields. I actually have somebody who makes valves for a living.
Wow.
And the science around the valves in your engine is pretty freaking cool.
It's insane.
Yeah, because you think about it, and what really got me interested in this, I was asking him about this at PRI, and he said, you know, a lot of people don't realize the valve doesn't help you flow. The valve is keeping it from flowing. You got to make a valve that gets out of the way as much as possible, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
and the whole idea.
It's really the tech is kind of counterintuitive when you think about it.
Yeah, and you got to remember that when it goes through that little neck there, that's the highest velocities right at that area where the valve's at. So there's a lot of science behind the back of the valve and that the highest area to keep that fuel atomized. So that way it's speeding up constantly as it goes down the port and then gets maximum velocity right at the valve.
Charger 383 Mopar asks, on a tunnel ram setup, do both carbs need electric choke?
No, I actually don't. A lot of people just run the electric choke on the front one, or some people run them on the back one. And some people actually do a progressive linkage on each carb, but then also a progressive linkage between the carburetors. If you're running a 1-to-1 on the front two primaries, then probably put an electric choke on either one. But I can tell you that I've had good luck with not running an electric choke or even a manual choke for that matter on a tunnel ram. As soon as you fire it up, just kind of hold the RPMs up for a little bit and then it's usually good to go. But if I was going to run one, I'd run it on the primary one with a progressive linkage between the carburetors.
And by the way, I'll put a plug out here real quick. Cope is premiering a video after this live.
Oh,
he has a premiere, an update on the Coronet. Oh. So as soon as this live wraps, head over there. It's going to be cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, watching that Coronet of his come together is really exciting. It's been off the road for many, many years, sitting in his shop. I know I have never seen it other than under a lot of dust in his shop. Things are changing now.
That's awesome.
He is doing a deep clean painting. I mean, really doing it right. He's got the whole engine bay painted, and he told me he's going to powder coat the K member. So if you're getting to the point of powder coating the K member, you really want a really clean car. Hey, Cove is asking, have you ever run a cross ram intake?
Yes. I have on the Hemi ones, obviously small block Chevrolets too for like a 302. They keep, basically it's like a tunnel ram that you're moving over. The issue with them though is that they tend to build a little torque, but then because the runners are much longer and then you have a much bigger plenum on them, they have a tendency to not run the top end like a tunnel ram can, where a tunnel ram can carry out the back door. Cross rams really have kind of an issue with that, and it really comes down to fuel distribution because of how the carburetors are sit and then how far the fuel has to move, because the right side feeds the left, and the left feeds the right. So it's a really long runner. And I've noticed too that fuel tends to pool in those where it doesn't on a tunnel ram. So they have a tendency to make less power, and they're a little bit more temperamental. They look cool. If I ever did a Hemi, it would have a cross ram, or if I did a max wedge, it'd have a cross ram. I would take the little bit of a hit just to have the cool factor.
Frizzell says he's never run a choke on a tunnel ram. They run great without him. Frizzell's also in South Carolina.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
there's a difference depending on where you are.
Yeah, I was in the mountains, and it was, unregular in California. I had a manual choke on the front one, just to get it started because it was a pain in the butt.
Charger 383 Mopar says, so I could get 2 manual choke carbs and just tie it open or remove it completely.
Yeah, honestly, you're probably not going to drive this with snow on the ground. So I'm telling you right now, just take them off.
Well, William, you need to tell him what this is going in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you need to tell him what this is going in. Dakota says, I think cross rams are awesome. I want to have one on the Dodge Charger that I don't have yet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I love. I got to tell you that I love the look of the cross ram on the Hemi.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks so great.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who've done back-to-backs on those on YouTube. So if you can just basically do a back-to-back on a cross ram with the tunnel ram, and you can just see the power difference right there.
Sean O'Brien is given an update that he will be emailing Professor B soon about his 3D printing.
Okay.
Charger 383 Mopar. Tell people specifically what that is, because not all of our viewers are going to know what Project Red Rocket is.
No. Sounds awesome.
Here we go. Here, he's got it.
Oh. That's awesome. Okay.
Core 40 powered Cushman.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I really hope you have a full face helmet for that thing. That's all I'm saying. I can just see that being upside down so easy.
Put some training wheels in the front too. Isn't the Cushman a front wheel? It's got a single front wheel.
And no, it's there's a lot going on with this one. You just have to see it. That's all I can say. Lars, there we go. Lars is on it. There's his project right there.
Okay.
It's pretty wild. And yes, we put up the link to the Cookie Monster shirts.
Oh yeah.
Feel free to throw a link up to them, Tony.
Yeah, we sure did. And everybody on Facebook and everybody at the work, they all love it. They think it's awesome. Good job, Tony. Bravo. You knocked it out of the park on that one. I got to tell you, I think it was awesome. It's funny how sometimes you're standing next to someone and I pulled him to the side and I showed him the picture of what I wanted. And he just like, oh my God, we got to make that a t-shirt. And I said, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm going to put the short up. I'm going to put the short up on my zoom in on it.
Yeah.
But shorts are much more liberal on giving you strikes for audio than live. So it's muted, but I'll put this up so you can see it. So there's the front.
And that's the back, but give it just a second. Oh, this is awesome. Look at the color. Look at the detail. Look at how awesome that came out.
Exceptional quality.
Yep.
These shirts are available now at gunslingergraphics.com.
Yep.
I really like about this community is that there are so many things that we do as individuals, but they benefit to the group.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, like, so Tony's Hot Rod Garage is his YouTube channel, but his business is Gunslinger Graphics. But look how much he does with our community. And,
yeah.
You know, makes people's visions come to life so they can have channel shirts, right? That's just really cool. And, you know, Shane, of course, you know, works at Edelbrock, and he's making this come to life. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I really like it when people in the community can do things like that. It's just great. Look how much Copa's helped us with stuff, right? I mean, and what's neat is he's come to this YouTube community as a bona fide community member who just likes grilling with us, the No Name Nationals, and sending us memes and doing all those things we know Cope as, right?
Oh yeah.
But yet he's on the Mount Rushmore of transmissions, and he can help us with tech too, right?
Yeah.
But I really think it's great when we have that with this community. I'm really seeing that come together more than ever. And each year it seems like that grows a little more and a little more.
Well, Mr. John, I'm going to get going, bud.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate everyone. Oh yeah, no problem. I appreciate everyone. And John's going to keep you posted on how things are going.
Yep.
And then if it gets going on this, me and John were already kind of texting about this, is that what we'll do is we'll when it's up and running, we'll do a portal and we'll do a live with it, so that way you guys can see how to navigate it. But it's really simple. If you've shot Summit or Jags, you can shot. It works the same way.
But the benefit is available now.
Mm-hmm. It's available right now. And well, I'm going to go John Wilburn. 3 hours. I can't even read my thing. Where is it? 36 minutes. It goes exactly on the first. So yeah. So send that stuff on the first, and then from that point on, everybody's getting the engine builder. We get more sales. Then we go to WD, and then everybody's going to be really, really, really happy with that.
So for good faith registrants of the No Name Nationals, we have our own concierge there, and I hope he'll be happy to talk with you. Everybody I've ever met over there is class, but the good on tech too. So it's going to be a better ordering experience, I have no doubt.
Yeah.
But you've got his phone number, you've got his email. Thank you, Professor P. And as this thing streamlines, we'll keep you up to date.
All right. You guys have a great weekend. And if you come by, American Hot Rod Association, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on his channel. So
we'll see you guys over there for Tech Talk Live on Wednesday.
All right. Have a good night.
Well, thank you, Cope. We all think a lot of you both personally and professionally. Oh, man. Kind of like snakes on a plane, but I know what you mean. Yeah, I got to tell you, I think it's really great when we see people in this community helping other people in the community like that. I just think it's great. And unselfishly. Junkyard D, how's everyone? Thanks for joining us. We will tell you that we had told you Edelbrock Incentives will be live by February 1, and it is. We're still working the bugs out of it. So for now, to get your discounts from Edelbrock, go to edelbrock.com, look at the site. Anything on there, you're going to get an additional 10 to 15% off everything on the site. But you're going to have to order through our concierge, Alex So. His information is in the description of this video. But that said, we'll continue to work on making a portal where you guys can log in, have our own site, and so forth. That's the idea. Crystal Kilgore that name almost sounds like a boutique ammunition. Kind of. I don't know why, but it kind of does. Well, that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. Anybody else have any questions in general? Cope's premiere will be right after this live. Yes, his premiere will be in 31 minutes, actually. And remember, there's the 2-minute countdown on the premiere, so we'll hand off from here right over to there. And we'll put the link up right before we go out. And there is a link to that premiere right now. Yeah, this is going to be an update on his 68 Coronet that he bought in 1988. He has a lot of history with that car, but it's been sitting in the mothballs for a long time, and the work has begun in earnest. He's got the engine bay painted now, and getting a really good, clean, fresh start on this car, and is going to be putting it back together with a 46RH, and which I don't know he's going to drive this thing on the highway, but a 46RH and a third gen Hemi with a supercharger. That's the plan as of last I heard. See, Dougster has sneaked in here. Hey, Buff Del Campo's going live. Let's see. Let's see. Dougster's here greeting everyone. No, you are incorrect, Cope. Cope's had that Coronet only 2 years longer than I've had my Charger. I get that. Some of us have had a ride a long time. I didn't know you were ever fearful, Ray. You didn't need Dougie for that. "38 racing as I was this morning." Whew. Yeah, this day was pretty rough. I was leaning on a shopping cart at Kroger. That is not normally what I do at all. No, Junkyard D, I haven't, because I said I'd really like to get 150 people registered by Memorial Day. If I have 150 people registered by Memorial Day, I'll definitely pull the trigger on that. But that said, it was so poorly attended in 2023. That's why I didn't bring it back for 2024. I want to bring it back. I thought it was really cool. I mean, gosh, the production and the quality and the sound and the picture were great. No complaints with any of that. It was fantastic. I'm even going to do some original content before the movie on the screen. There's a lot I would like to do with it, but we need people to turn out. And the thing is people just, we'll just do it this time, do it this day, do it like, yeah. And that takes away from these other things. And really the absolute best time to have this movie is on the Thursday. But people are so beat up from travel, they just don't turn out. If they don't turn out, I'm not going to have it. So I haven't made a decision yet, but if we have enough pre-registrations, I will. I'd like to do it. I think it was really cool. We had a great place for it. Man, movie on the lawn there after dinner is great. But I certainly understand some of you people come from, we'll do a lot of driving on the Thursday. But I'm not giving up on it by any means. I just want to get a little better handle on participation. As far as what movie, I got a very short list of a few I've picked out. And you always want to have more than one because whichever company has the rights to it, you want to make sure it's not on moratorium. They'll pull them back, if there's a 50th anniversary or something like that, you know, because obviously we're going to do old stuff. Or it doesn't have to be 50th, but it could be like a 20th anniversary or anything like that. Also, you got to have time to get a license. It could be an obscure place that doesn't have many. Could be a harder person to deal with. I will tell you, the last movie we did was Swank, and they were easy to work with. Basically, they're easy to work with, but they're just like, pay up, you know. They're like the gangsta on the corner. Give me my toll. That's basically what they do. They infuse no value whatsoever. Oh, I know Tony. Yeah, I get it. See, Tony, here's the thing. The people who are on top of it like that are never the ones are never, because, Tony's on top of things. If I were to have the No Name Nationals in Hawaii, I would get there. I would get there on the island, go to the track, and out in the far corner of the field, I would see Tony with his truck and rat rod out there, probably waiting on me. And maybe JV and Lars around the corner, sleeping in a blazer with feet hanging out of, the trash truck. I mean, I'm telling you, there are some hardcore people that would make it. I seriously bet if we had the No Name Nationals in Hawaii, and there is a track there, we could have it. If we did, there probably would be a person or two or three that would come out, I'm sure, but, it's not feasible at all. Busted Radio says, calling today. What's up? BRG in the house. Well, thanks for joining us before you call it a day completely. We appreciate you being here. Been watching what looks like a whole lot of sanding videos going on in your shop. Wizard of Oz? Wouldn't be out of the question. The One-Eyed Cat says we'll be there Wednesday, hopefully by dark. Who's Your Garage says hello, hello. Thanks for joining us. Oh, yeah, I feel terrible, Chris. I woke up not feeling well on Tuesday, and it's still not good. I still feel really rough. And I've either got to call and move my Kroger fuel points or go run and get 35 gallons of gas tonight. I'll give you exactly one guess how much you think I want to do that. Can hear Jethro snoring in there. Jethro was just hanging out, watching No Country for Old Men. It's funny because Jethro has been to my classes before. So he's been to where there's pistol fire. And I've always kept him at a safe distance because I don't want it to hurt his ears. He sure won't wear headphones. But I'll keep him plenty far enough away that it doesn't hurt his ears. But it doesn't spook him or anything. He's used to that. So I guess No Country for Old Men doesn't bother him either. He'll watch that. His favorite thing to watch is the Rescue Dog Show. There's nothing better than that. He will sit up and watch and pay attention and follow everything going on in the Rescue Dog Show. I'm telling you, Tony, that the older I've gotten, the more I realize that having that extra time when you travel is so worth it. Oh, nothing worse than being beat up to start with. I don't necessarily know what that means, backwoods performance. I mean, still come out to the No Name Nationals. And doesn't Doesn't mean you don't even have to have a car built or anything to come. Just come out and bracket your daily. The Love Boat. I like the Love Boat. I like the Love Boat. That wasn't all that long ago that they finally scrapped that ship, the Pacific Princess. I think it went to a scrapyard in Turkey. And what I think would have been cool with that boat, though, that actual boat, is if they had done, theme cruises on it, because there was a lot of fans of that show. So. And speaking of that, just completely random, since you brought it up, I just saw an interview that was done just days ago with Ted Lange, who played the bartender on Love Boat. And they did an interview, and it was really interesting. Talks about his career, not just the Love Boat, but the rest of his career. I highly recommend that. It's on Still Here Hollywood. Steve Kometko hosts it. Really good interview with that guy. I enjoyed it. Aunt D's asking if I'm planning on doing another firearm month. Yeah, I can. What do you guys over there say? I mean, do you want me to do another firearm? It'd be a firearm training live. Yeah, I'm glad to do another one. I spent the better part of 20 years training. There's plenty to talk about. T's Good Time Garage said, short and sweet visit tonight as I'm sitting in the race car waiting to run. Had to make sure I stopped in. Well, thanks for joining us, T. I appreciate that. Sitting in the race car waiting to run, watching our live from the race car. How cool is that? One-Eyed Cat says, Isaac the bartender was my man. That's right, Isaac Washington. He was I think he was like 29 years old. Ted Green was confident. Yes, he was. Remember American Shooter with Jim Scouten? Yes, I do. I remember when he would have like Bob Munden and some of these trick shooters on. I always thought that was really cool. Dexter says, show him what's what. T's Good Time Garage. Yep. Diecast Dreams is sick as a dog. Well, that makes a lot of us. I'm usually pretty hardy, but whew, got hit with it. Danny Boyd only caught the end of American Shooter before the car shows came on. Yeah, that's the truth. So the most priority live stream to schedule is going to be a content creator workshop, and that's going to be soon on a Sunday afternoon. We usually do them. I'm going to get one on the schedule. I kind of wanted to give January people to roll in and register, get our first crop of No Name 500 guys in, and we've done that. So now I'm going to put a content creator workshop on the schedule. But that said, we can also do a random firearm training live just to do it, but I always like to put that on some time off of Fridays. The one thing about Fridays is that you have certain guarantees. I mean, Friday is going to be this community. Friday is always going to be family friendly. Friday's always certain time. That's what Friday is. And, in a world where everything tries to change things and ruin good things, I don't want to do that. So when we want to do different things, we pick a different time. Andy says, I was going to ask about the content when not quite short a day. Not quite one short a day. Oh, okay. But I just put up my third for the week. Oh, cool. Cool. Hey, that's great. Aunt D, are you trying to get your subs to participate in the No Name Nationals? Mrs. One-Eyed Cat placed an order for the Cookie Monster shirt. One-Eyed Cat. Don says first, but I don't know first what. I'm first. What do I win? First what? First to place an order for the Cookie Monster shirt? I don't know. Were you? I don't have any idea. We were just plugging it on the show here. Junkyard needs to create a shirt with missing tires and rims. Or Cleveland needs a shirt with missing tires and rims. I remember years ago, I had to park on the street in Richmond, Virginia, which is a big city here. That's where our capital is. And had to park about a block over from the hotel, but I couldn't see where I was parked from where I was staying. And I called the police department and I said, I want to know if that's an okay place to park. And I described exact location. He says, yeah, that's okay. I said, well, I mean, not necessarily that it's legal, but I said, well, my truck still have wheels and tires on it tomorrow. I mean, if you've been to Richmond, it's a sketchy place. That said, I've never had a bad action at all whatsoever with Richmond City or Capitol Police, because you have both there. Kind of like we do, just over here with, Virginia Tech Police and Blacksburg Police, all but overlap each other. In Richmond, you have Richmond City and Capitol that patrol the state capitol. Oh boy, Cope's asking, what's your favorite pizza? And Crystal likes a combination. Add jalapenos. What? I had some pizza last week, Bellacino's, and I got meatball and pineapple. Gotta tell you, pineapple on a pizza is no joke. I dig it. I kind of think the people who don't think that pineapple should be on a pizza are the people who think all music has to be rock music. I kind of think that goes together. It's interesting you say that about the wheels and tires. I watched a police chase video of the cops chasing a drunk driver driving a maroon Chrysler Pacifica with no tires, just rims, driving bare rims on the ground. And you see this cop just sitting there in traffic, dash cam kicks on, obviously goes back a little bit, but the dash cam's running. This Pacifica goes flying past him in the right lane, slides through it. I bet that cop was chasing him upwards of 90 miles an hour, maybe 100, and the guy had no tires on a Chrysler Pacifica. It amazes me, I guess, just being that bold, how much these people can do and get away with, and how far. And he didn't wreck out. He finally just got stuck into a place where he was blocked in, jumped out and ran. No tires on it. Oh, and when he finally came to a stop, the right wheel was 5-spoked, and there was no rim left, and there were 5 various length spokes. Probably a stolen car, all that. I'm telling you, pineapple pizza, I like it. I like it. I never did eat that when I was younger, but I think it's great. That's a very Wisconsin answer of you, Jay. Cheese, sausage, and mushroom. 38 Racing said we had a 16-year-old get busted for 168 miles per hour running just this month. I will say, though, you have the kind of roads you can do 168 on. We don't have to worry about that here. There's not a road around. We have probably one road around here where you could get something to 168. One road. And don't you know that all the police know that one road you could do that? Yeah, Tony likes the meatball and jalapeno. Who would steal a Pacifica? Somebody, it was a drunk driver, so obviously somebody drunk. Yeah, who would steal a Pacifica? I like that. It always amazes me, if you're going to go to prison for grand larceny, you at least think you'd make it something worth your while. But Chris says a thin crust supreme pizza is where it's at. Yeah, that's the great thing about pizza, is it can come in so many different varieties. Man, if you like thick crust, thin crust, hand tossed, meat toppings, all vegetable, pineapple, whatever you like, they make a pizza like that. And I think that's great. Mohawk likes Canadian bacon and sauerkraut pizza. That sounds very Mohawk, actually. Danny Boyd says sauerkraut belongs on sandwiches in my book. I'm not a sauerkraut guy. Canadian bacon's okay. I got to tell you, it wouldn't be half bad. Just be light cheese, so it's not too much with just pineapple. That wouldn't be too bad. See, then you got to have a really good crust to go with that. And not everybody has a good enough crust. Some people, it's just make it all up with toppings. So it depends on the pizza. Yeah, it looks kind of funny. I see that shadow on my shirt. And if I blade to the camera just a little bit, with having this too much hair, I look like Larry King Gun. It keeps bothering me. "38 Racing says there's a pizza place around here that advertises 5,000 flavors of pies. Oh my gosh, what a crazy menu." Thumper says, "I'm German, so sauerkraut has to be good or no. Same with beer. I'm a quarter German, and I have no use for either. But I like Volkswagens." Germans are hit and miss. They've given us some great things and they've given us some terrible things. They gave us the 9mm. They gave us double action, single action. So they either hit it out of the park or it's like Sprockets from Saturday Night Live. It's just one way or the other. Italians, you could say the same thing. Their food, their guns. Dougster says a kid in my neighborhood was riding his dirt bike on the road and a cop lit him up, so he ran, drove through the woods through a neighbor's back property up to the house. Imagine his surprise when the cop was there. Oh, well. Mohawk said I have a jar of crap in the fridge too. Yeah, man, I had to go on a major grocery run. I mean, I'll tell you what, when you get down just a few cans of soup and kind of scratching around where you just been in and out so much the last few weeks that you just don't ever go to the store and do these things. Anyway, I kind of righted that up some. Backwoods Performance says street racing in New Orleans was the only time I've ever been chased off by the cops. You know, there's great places to do that racing. Dragways. Yeah, I just never tested fate like that. I just left that for other people. .38 Racing said, for some reason, the cops always knew who it was if I was called in. Andy, take care, my man. Andy's probably rushing over to Cope's premiere, which is going to be here in a couple of minutes. So anybody have any last anything? I don't think anybody claims the track and the street are the same, ever. And even a track with no prep is still not the street for several reasons. Yeah, we're going to hand off to Cope, but remember, he's going to have that 2-minute countdown anyway. So we're good. We're totally good. Cope's premiere is going to be here. Yeah, we're going to hand off to him. Later, Tim. If one of the mods would stick that link up for Cope's premiere, I'd greatly appreciate that. I'm glad it could, Ray. I appreciate that. It brightened my day too. Yeah, but you know, that's a whole other topic. These promoters are, yeah, I got a whole lot. That's a whole other topic. And Danny Boyd just randomly says mustard is my favorite condiment. Anyway, the link should be up for Cope's premiere. So go check that out. And I hope to see you guys again next week. And let's head over to Cope's premiere. Y'all have a good weekend.